This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, Don't mistake the new me for the old me. They can't stop me now, I'm with the home team. No beginner, I'm a winner. Took a couple losses, now I'm cooking, let me simmer. Yeah, tunnel vision, all I see is win, 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 win. This my city section where you been. We move faster alone, but go further together. We can weather any weather forever. A dream team, I done seen things. Confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team out here celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, Forget the things you probably thought you knew. A new day is approaching, turn the gray skies into blue. I grew up on these same blocks, school of hard knocks. Had to get it on a hard top, took the hard shots, but we made it. Anticipated, highly decorated. The home team is winning, celebrated. The victory is all mine, and everything is alright. And you know how to see things, confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team out here celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like,
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Spike Kool-Aid for Friday, December 5th, 2025, man. This is the last Spike Kool-Aid of the week. I think I got on every day but yesterday. Obviously, we had the game yesterday, so, you know, there's that. Shout out to the Detroit Lions, man. Got the dub. Shout out to the people in the chat. We got Malachi, run the ball. Lauren, what up, though? Braylon in the building. Tori, Lauren again, and Dan, howdy. What's up, y'all? Man, what a game yesterday. What a time for you to root for your Detroit Lions, man, to try to get this victory, keep their playoff hopes alive. With that win, the Detroit Lions playoff hopes went up to 55%. The Dallas Cowboys, they dropped down to like less than 10. So it's going to be very difficult. I had some Eagles fans in my comment section yesterday blowing it up like, yo, we appreciate you for handling our business. So check this out. If the Cowboys would have won yesterday and the Eagles lost their game, the Cowboys would have been a half game behind the Eagles for the NFC West. So essentially, the Cowboys' time, they would have a lot to happen, but, you know, it can still, but we put a big hurting on that yesterday, but we wind up getting hurt ourselves, man, losing Brian Branch for the season. So we're going to talk about that. Braylon, what's up, self-made? Braylon says, remember we drafted a safety in Dan Jackson. Need to see him next year. That is correct. Dan is out for the season, but he will be playing next year. And you know what? We might as well get right into the subject at hand, and that's going to be Brian Branch. So let's get right into that. All right. The Detroit Lions lost a playmaker for the season, man. Brian Branch is out for the season. We just got the news early this morning, and then it was confirmed within a few hours that Brian Branch does have a torn Achilles, and he is going to be out for the season. Now, during my live stream of the breaking news on Lion Syndicate, we had a discussion about the future of Brian Branch and what do the Detroit Lions do now. Now, we did take a safety who is out, Dan Jackson, and he will get some time to shine next year. But when it comes to Brian Branch, what kind of timeline are we looking at here? When we look at this, this is devastating for Brian Branch from a human standpoint, from a player standpoint, and from a financial standpoint, because now you're talking about going into a contract year trying to get your bread up. And we all expected Sam Laporta to be the odd man out. And now the question that I put before you, the chat, is if you are Brad Holmes, what do you do here? What do you do here? Now, you do have the franchise tag that you could use. And again, this is not for about a year and a half away, but Brian Branch was in for a pretty substantial payday. And now both second-round picks from 2023 are on injured reserve. Season is done. And both of them are questionable, really, if you look at it, to return for 2026. I mean, Sam Laporta, don't know how that back issue is going to kind of heal. And when it comes to Brian Branch, you're talking about a solid, he's going to start the year on the PUP list. Just like Aleem McNeil did and Josh Pascal did, he's going to start on that list. So what does this mean? And if you're Brad Holmes, what do you do? Do you let him come back in November and play out the rest of his season if he can come back and earn himself a contract? Do you let it ride out and sign him to a one-year deal? Do you let it ride out and maybe franchise tag him? So I am not going to I don't know what Brad is going to do, but I put it before the chat. If you're Brad Holmes, what do you do here? In all likelihood, you're not going to see Brian Branch until November. So you're going to have his body of work and his sample size for the rest of the year to kind of judge what kind of deal you want to give him. Now, let's remember as well, when it comes to Achilles injuries, man, they are hard to come back from. We saw Emmanuel Mosley. He went down, came back. The second one gave way, and he wound up being down again. So I think Emmanuel Mosley spent essentially 3 seasons on injured reserve. We've seen cornerbacks go down with Achilles tears, man, and they're not the same. Now, I think Tre'Davious White, he came back from one, so people can do it. Brian Branch is young enough to do so. But my thing is, if you're Brad, what do you do? What do you do? Do you risk locking him up in the offseason? Again, Aleem McNeil was locked up prior to his injury. Kirby Joseph was locked up prior to his injury. Aiden, they waited to see what the result was going to be. And then we locked up Aiden. And Aiden's new money hasn't even started yet. It doesn't even start until 2027. So Aiden's going to be a Detroit Lion for the rest of the decade. But Brian Branch is up for grabs. And I'm wondering, and I hate to say this, I don't think we've seen the last of Brian Branch in Detroit, but we might have seen the best of his time in Detroit. Because think about it, he's not going to come back until midseason, and then you have the other, you have to make a decision. So Melodrama says we keep Brian Branch. Okay, well, if we keep Brian Branch, what kind of deal would you give him if you're Brad Holmes? If you're Brad Holmes, what would you do? Would you franchise tag him? Would you give him like a 1-year, prove it deal? That's crazy to talk about a prove it deal with a guy who's early on in his career is proven. Brian Branch, I mean, the first 2 years, we had no complaints. And then year 3, he's gotten suspended, kind of lost his cool a little bit. It seemed a little off when it came to his play on the field. Just maybe that was missing his running mate, Kirby Joseph. But I will say that if Brad Holmes decides to take a safety, we do have Dan Jackson, but if somehow he decides to take a safety or something like that in the draft, then that might point to Brian Branch. Let me ask you this. Do you think this changes the outcome of whether it's Sam Laporta or Brian Branch? I don't know. It's too early to tell on both of them. You don't know if Sam is going to come back, how that back injury is going to heal after surgery. And this is a torn Achilles is a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. We brought this up on Lion Syndicate, but I want to show you guys what kind of timeline that Brian Branch is looking at when it comes to recovery. Now, this is coming from Google, obviously. None of us are doctors. But it says recovery from a torn Achilles tendon can take 4 to 9 months, with full return to high-level sports activities, which is what Brian Branch is, taking 6 to 12 months. Okay, so if we say 6 months, let's say he's like the bionic man, 6 months from right now puts us at the beginning of June. So that's right around OTAs that he would be if he could be ready for OTAs, and that would be on the like the quickest timeline possible. Of course, 12 months would take the entire, which means that we literally would not see Brian Branch until the end of the season. The last stretch of his rookie contract ending for the last 5 games. It says, the timeline depends on factors like the severity of the tear, age, overall health, and whether surgery is performed. Well, there's no doubt it's going to do that. While many people can return to normal walking within about 3 months, regaining full strength and function requires a dedicated physical therapy and rehabilitation program. So he will be 100% in that. And obviously, he's got the Lions strength and conditioning. And when I took a tour of the facility, I know exactly where he'll be. But my thing is, what does this mean for Brian Branch and the future, his future as a Detroit Lion? Of course, he's still a Detroit Lion next year. That's not going to change. But then you have his timeline, earliest as possible. I'm talking about perfect situations. He's just a freak. He comes back and he's ready for OTAs. In all likelihood, that's not going to be the case. He's going to miss the first 2 months of the season. He may come back after, we're talking, let's just say, let's give him the Aleem McNeil situation, where maybe in October, his 21-day window opens and he's ready to go by November. And then you know who he reminds me of? And it's sad, and I hate to do this to you guys because I know this is going to be a touchy subject, but we have to look at this as a business, right? This is a business, and we love these people as people and as players. And if you take the personal out of it, this is a business. And even though I think that Branch is a better player, we talked about this before, is that I could see, and I know a lot of y'all are not going to like this, I could see a situation where Brian Branch is kind of in that Ife Melifonwu kind of realm where you play out your rookie contract. Now, Branch has not been, of course, he's better than Ife. He has not been as hurt as Ife. Ife was hurt all the time. But at the same time, the Lions have to make a decision between Laporta and Brian Branch. And if Laporta can give them a bigger sample size than Branch can in a contract year, then how do you make that decision? But what if the Detroit Lions, who haven't franchised anybody in over 10 years, what if they decide that, you know what, we're going to move on from Brian Branch? I mean, think about it. Think about it. We talked about this earlier on the show, and I saw last night. Ian Rappaport reports that Jahmyr Gibbs is about to get a payday, that he is the number one priority this offseason for the Detroit Lions, as we've all predicted he's going to be. So if you're going to prioritize Jahmyr Gibbs, you got to pay Jack Campbell. That is a no doubt. It leaves you Sam Laporta and Brian Branch. And if Sam is able to give you a little bit more on his resume, what decision are you going to make? This is a tough spot for Brad Holmes to be in. But I will say this, man, I'm devastated for Brian Branch as a person, as a player, and his pockets took a massive hit. A massive hit. If you look at what the Lions did with Aiden Hutchinson, they let him come back. Now, you could argue they paid him too early. I don't think they did. Hutch's money doesn't even go into effect until 2 years from now. So he's not even making $45 million. By the time Hutch gets 45, he'll be in the prime of his career. So I think they did a smart thing because the number was only going to go up. So they locked him up now. So I'm devastated for Brian Branch from a human, from a player, financially wise, man, because it sucks. And and on top of that, his brother coming back with Kirby Joseph, and now he's not going to play. And then you think about the trickle-down effect on the team. We know we have been next man up since Brad and Dan have taken over. But now Kirby Joseph is coming back, and it looks like they kind of fed off each other, man. You know what's funny is y'all like Seek and Destroy. I liked Vintage and Carnum. And you know what's great about it? And I think Carnage and Venom, that's what I meant to say, that they were symbiotes. And doesn't it seem like Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch fed off each other, just had that symbiotic relationship? Kind of feels that way, right? So I don't know, man, but let me know what you think in the comments below. I don't think this is the end for Brian Branch, but I don't know, man. It's going to be a tough decision that Brad has to make because, again, this is a business. that this is, at the end of the day, that's what the NFL is a business. And if you have to make business decisions, and we've had to see people leave before, maybe Brian will be one, maybe he won't. Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right. Comments below. That's the wrong. Let me come back to me. There we go. Now, let me know what you think. All right, I saw a super chat from Braylon. Let me see, B. Braylon with the super chat says, the fact that our guys get hurt while playing Dallas needs to be investigated. First Hutch last year, and now Branch is ridiculous. Yeah, it does seem that way, that we've gotten, injured when it comes to Dallas, man, from Hutch last year. Yeah, and Hutch is like, and it's two high-level players. And you know what? I forgot to mention Thomas Harper, man. I hope he's okay. Let me see. Edge should still be a priority in the draft, but man, losing Branch is horrible. Hey, nothing's changed for me, and we're going to talk about Al-Qadim as well. Nothing's changed for me, bro, at all when it comes to Muhammad. Like, I'm going to give him his praise. He got a career high. This is the best career year he's had, but I'm not there yet. We lost Harper. Man, did y'all see him get injured yesterday? I was like, I don't know, man. I felt like the refs should be like, the way that he was looking, I feel like refs should be able to do something until the trainers and stuff can get out there. I know it doesn't take that long for the trainers to get out, but as I'm watching Harper, like the way he was looking, and the ref is just standing there, and I'm like, yo, you can't do anything. I don't know. Maybe they can't like legally touch him or something. You know what I mean? Wait, hold on, Schiff. Really? No. On what? He's on his podcast saying that? No way. You know what? That's what happened, man, when these guys leave. They want to come back. What up, Aaron? Braylon says, I would be devastated if we let Branch walk. Okay, well, you got to make a decision. Hey, Splasher, didn't it, though? It did. And we've seen DeMar Hamlin. We've seen Tua, seize up. But I'm watching, and what's crazy is, so I'm watching the play, George Pickens. You see this body, man. It just flies across the screen. I'm like, dang, who? He flew across like Superman. Like, I was like, yo, like a blur. He just flies across the screen. You're like, who was that? And then, they cut to Harper, and he's on the ground, man, and he's doing this. And I was just like you've seen it on the ground, and you see people seize up. But I don't think I've ever, and the ref was just standing there, and I'm just like, you don't see him doing this? But I guess there's nothing they could do. Other than Edge, what would be the most unexpected move Brad could make this offseason? Other than Edge, what would be the most unexpected move Brad can make this offseason? Okay, Lupe, so you're saying that he's not going to make a move at Edge. Unexpected. If we being ridiculous, bro, a quarterback. Davenport is out of here. Derek, would you take Tyrann Mathieu to fill in for Branch right now? Okay. So, yo, the CD stuff, bro. I saw a CD, and you could see instantly, man, because when you land like that and you get a concussion, it instantly transfers in the rest of your body. So, like, when you go, and CD, man, he hit the ground hard, too. And you know what? If I'm CD Lamb, if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I got to let George Pickens go. After yesterday, he got to go. You can't. George, you got to go, bro. Your teammate, this is your superhero partner. You saw this guy go down in a super violent way, and then you out there being stupid. Like, you're not giving full effort. You're committing penalties. If I'm Dallas, I got to let Pickens walk. To me. So, okay. So you guys are saying, okay, so Jay says you aren't supposed to touch them. Yeah, that's what I said. It must be, because they were just standing there. And I was just like, what? But again, maybe they're not supposed to touch them. Okay, so he was on Kay Adams' show. Really? He got his own podcast. I ran across it last week. So all of a sudden, Tyrann Mathieu wants to come. Hey, was he a saint when Dan Campbell was a saint? I mean, was Tyran over there, bro? Or Tyron? He wasn't. Okay. I know they might have passed. Let me see. Plus, Brad has always found a way to keep his guys. I truly believe he's gonna believe he's gonna keep his guys. Sam and Bryant are gonna be paid if Brad can help it. Okay, Dan. Let's put it like this. Oh, that's right. Okay, he was a Chief, but he was also right. He was on the Saints before he retired. That's what happens when you get old, Braylon. That's right. He was a Chief. Okay, what are you paying both of them? What are you paying Laporta and Branch? What are you doing? Are you extending them? Are you waiting until after the season? And if so, what are you giving him? Pickens has always been a head case, even when he's playing for my Bulldogs. You know what's crazy? It's like if you draft a receiver and then that whole situation, like, and if Pittsburgh can't deal with you, bro, that means you are a problem. Pittsburgh can deal with anybody. Pittsburgh and New England. If you need to be straightened up, you go to Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh don't want nothing to do with you, you are a problem, bro. And only Jerry Jones would do. I feel like the Cowboys are the only team that would have traded for George Pickens, for real. I wouldn't want to see him back in Kansas City. Yeah, I don't think he would go back to Kansas City. But that's crazy, man. But you know what the funny part is? Okay. I got a question for y'all because I don't know about this. If you are so the retirement through week 13, week 13 is the last week you have to unretire. But does that only apply to a player that is under contract with the team currently at the time they retire? For instance, if Matthew is not under contract with the team, but he soft retired. One, did he announce his retirement? I think he did. And two, could he unretire, or is he still where he can't do it? Because, like, for instance, Justin Simmons did not officially retire, and that's why he didn't. Because I think maybe if you officially announce your retirement and submit the paperwork, you have until such and such date, week 13, to reverse that. So that's the question I'm wondering. Okay, Laporta, what's up, Dennis? Laporta has made $7.5 million. He gets $2.5 million this year. The Steelers tolerated Antonio Brown longer than they tolerated George Pickens, which speaks volumes. Aaron, that is a fact, bro. Because George Pickens, man, still can't trust Pittsburgh receivers after they leave Martavius Bryant, Plaxico, Mike Wallace, AB, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson. Laporta is a free agent after next season. Yes, we're talking about heading into 2026, because one thing about Brad Holmes is, okay, so is Levi might be the only Detroit Lion that has gotten re-signed that Brad drafted, which would make sense because his rookie deal ended this offseason. So I think Levi is currently the only re-signed Detroit Lion draft pick, if I'm not mistaken. Splasher says I miss Iffy. How is Iffy doing, by the way? What's up, A1? How's Iffy doing? I haven't really kept up with him. I know he played like he was playing and then he was hurt, so I don't know. Okay, Lupe says, if a player retires with no contract obligations, they are essentially free to sign with any team that wants them, provided they pass physicals and meet league standards per Google. Appreciate you, bro. So that means that if Matthew is not committed to the Saints, he can come back. So can Justin Simmons, because both of those guys, I know Justin's a free agent. Patrick, I have no idea, bro. Aaron, yes, I believe he did. Man. All right, so there is something else I wanted to talk about as well. Let me pull up this info because it is something I wanted to celebrate. Man, I can't believe that, bro. The Brian Branch thing is tough. Hey, look, we at this. So, look, I put out on Twitter, and even when I'm trying to be nice, I put out on Twitter that it would have been great to have Quandre Diggs. It would have been, that's who Brian Branch reminds me of. It would have been great to have Quandre. And I get a retweet of and this guy, he is a Lions lover. Me and him will go to war. I mean, it's all love, but he retweets it and he's like, why don't we bring back Ziggy Ansah as well? And I'm saying to myself, well, first of all, that's just dumb. Second, what is the problem? Quandre Diggs would have been a great veteran to have on this team. We signed Jamal Adams last year. What are we talking about? Right? So we lost our strong safety. We could have had Quandre Diggs, who still be lighting people up. Like, what are we talking about? And I love how, I don't know if fan bases do this because I'm not connected like that, but I know ours does, is if you don't play for us, you washed. You could be washed and play for us, and you the greatest thing that ever happened to this team. I guess that's part of fandom, but I'm like, what was the sarcasm for? Like, we could use Quandre Diggs right now, just like we could use Justin Simmons or Tyrann Mathieu. Like, what are we talking about? We're not going to get any better without, like, you can't trade. People can't unretire if they have contractual obligations. This is the best you're going to get. Quandre Diggs passed through waivers, but he's now back on Seattle. He's back in Seattle, right? So, like, what are we doing? So, anyway, I can't win for losing. I can't win for losing. I'd rather take Ziggy over Marcus Davenport. Hey, that's facts. That's facts. All right, let's have a conversation because I think this is important. This is important. All right, let me pop this out and pull this here. All right. The Detroit Lions have a secret weapon on the team. And I'm sure you think he must be talking about St. Brown. He must be talking about Jameson Williams. He must be talking about Jahmyr Gibbs. Absolutely not. I'm talking about a guy, the legend, TK85. Tom Kennedy, a guy that has survived the Matt Patricia regime. You might not realize this, but Matt Patricia brought in Tom Kennedy, a former lacrosse player, and I think that's what makes him so tough. I think lacrosse, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was right around like the Danny Amendola time, Trey Flowers. We bring in Tom Kennedy. Here's a shocking stat for you. I know you're going to be like, Tom Kennedy has never made a 53-man roster. Even when Patricia was here, he did not make the 53, but he keeps hanging around. And the Detroit Lions are fortunate to have him, okay? I am shocked that Tom Kennedy has not been claimed off waivers yet in his entire career. And I'm going to tell you what the Lions better be careful of. They better be careful of playing chicken one too many times. I understand that rosters are competitive. And when you say like all he does is make plays, and you got a guy like Antoine Green on the team at the time, or somebody, Donovan Peoples-Jones on the team, and you got a guy that literally says all he does is make plays, I think that the Lions take for granted Tom Kennedy. And one day, they're not going to get the chance to take him back. They played that game with the linebacker, Trevor Nowalski. He wound up getting claimed by the Arizona Cardinals. They were able to get him back. Isaiah Williams, they waived him last year. Cincinnati picked him up. And guess where he plays now? Under former Detroit Lion defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn. He's their kick return guy. Tom Kennedy, one of these years, will not clear waivers. And it might come after yesterday's performance. It might be sooner than you think. I want to show you guys something. Check this out. This is coming from Detroit Lions PR, and this is an official Lions account. Says, at Lions, wide receiver Tom Kennedy is the first Lions player since Stephon Logan. Y'all remember him? The little short return dude in 2010 to produce 80-plus kickoff return yards and 20-plus punt return yards in consecutive games. Don't forget, Tom Kennedy was signed to the 53-man roster last week before he played the Green Bay Packers. He's also the first Lion since Jeremy Ross. And some of y'all don't even remember this dude. In 2013, to log a game with 120 plus kickoff yards, return yards, and 20 plus return yards. There's a reason we call this man TK85 the legend, because he is a legend. All he does is make plays. That's all he does. And again, the Lions are going to play chicken one day. Braylon with the super chat, appreciate you, my man, says, yo, you know something, Derek? Whenever we release or waive Tom Kennedy, I've always wanted the Giants to claim him because Giants could use receivers. I've always thought he would do well on the Giants. Well, you know what, B? I thought when he got waived before that the Packers, Bears, or Vikings would pick him up just because of the knowledge that he has of the team. This guy has been through 2 regimes now. He's been here the entire time. And I'm going to tell you, man, they're going to play chicken with him, and he's going to be gone. One of these days, he's not going to return. I want to show you his. Now, we know what he does when it comes to receiving. We know what TK85 can do receiving. But check this out. Returning. He's played 2 games as a returner. Punt returns, he had 42 yards. Kickoff returns, he's had 6 with 201. This is what he's done this season. And he's not a slouch now. He always is there to step up when Khalif Raymond goes down or somebody else goes down. He's like a Swiss Army knife. The man does everything. I'm surprised we haven't put him at tight end yet. I'm surprised we haven't put Tom Kennedy at tight end yet. I know we get nostalgic from a lot of players, but don't forget, Lions waived Craig Reynolds. He cleared waivers. He chose to sign with the New England Patriots. So Craig Reynolds is gone. Now, he wasn't claimed, but the Lions are going to play this game one too many times, and he is not going to return. And it would be sad because I want to show you how much the Detroit Lions value Tom Kennedy. Here is the locker room speech from Dan Campbell yesterday.
Hey guys, nobody tells us who we are. Nobody, man. We write our own story. We've said it all along. That's the way to show up, man. It's the way to show up. We do what we want to do and how we're going to do it. You guys showed up. Was it perfect? No. Do we have a lot to clean up? Yeah, that's a good win, man. That was a hot team, right? And that's one down. We got another one to go after this. But we get a little breather here. Yeah. We get just a little bit of breather, all right? Which is all good. All right, I got 4 game balls, man. All right, you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to start with this one. All right, this guy just had the NFL record for most receptions through the first 5 seasons of 511. All right, and today, we got 6 catches for 92 yards, and the freaky guy just lays it on the line every time, man. You're a stud, St. Ron.
Keep going, keep winning.
This guy, we told him, it was going to be on him. This offensive performance was going to start with him, man. You were going to light the fire, and then we were going to roll on, man. All right, 25 and 34, 309 yards, 1 touchdown, 100.11 rating, quarterback rating, Jared Goff.
Keep it rolling, fellas. Belief is a crazy thing. Keep believing. We're on our way, all right?
That's right. Defensively, 3 sacks, 3 total tackles, in a big way.
Coaches challenge us, and that's what you do when the coach challenges you.
One more, guys. 3 kickoff returns for 120 yards.
Appreciate you guys. Takes all 11 every play. Let's keep it going.
All right. Did you see that? You see the love that this team gave Tom Kennedy. Tom Kennedy is a legend, bro. He is a legend. Detroit Lions fans know that he is a legend in the city, man, because really, truly, all he does is make plays. And one of these days, man, he's not going to. And Braylon brought up that you could see, or somebody brought up in the comment section, forgive me if I missed the person, that you could see Ben Johnson signing with the Bears next season, right? I'm actually surprised that Ben did not claim him. And if the Lions aren't careful, because remember now, Tom Kennedy was signed to the 53. I don't know who else could come back from IR that could put Tom off, because Terrion's done. Brian will go there soon. He's done, right? Most of the people that's on IR. There might be a few people that could come back, but one day they're gonna waive him. They're gonna risk it, and he's not gonna return. That's how it's gonna be. Just like Isaiah Williams before him, and just like Trevor Nowalski before him. And I would hate to see that happen. He has never played for any other team but the Detroit Lions through Matt Patricia, through this regime, and all he does is make plays, man. And you know what the crazy part is about Tom Kennedy is Tom Kennedy is that guy, man, like, and the ovation that he got was almost like it was overdue. Like, I don't know if Tom Kennedy, you know what? Has he ever received a game ball in Detroit? The guy, like, I was watching Dallas Cowboy creators yesterday, and it was two in particular. The Chat Sports Cowboy guy, and he's like, Tom Kennedy, who? Nobody knows who that is. And I said, we know. I left a comment in the comment section and was like, we know who it is. His name is Tom Kennedy, right? The legend. Then I went into another chat, and the dude was like, he didn't even know his name. He was like, yeah, whoever was returning the punts for the Detroit Lions, man, he was a stocky dude, and he wasn't a small guy, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, the name's Tom Kennedy. Remember it, right? So it's like, well, long overdue. Tom, I would love to see him make a 53-man roster. That initial 53, it's almost like the Lions take him for granted. And I hope that he proved his worth yesterday, because, look, Tom Kennedy, he has not played as much as Khalif Raymond. And I love me some Khalif Raymond. But he's been kind of more reliable as of late than Khalif. And again, maybe if we saw Tom on a roster, maybe he would take more damage. Maybe he would be hurt as well. But right now, man, the guy fills in wherever he needs to be, and all he does is make plays. So shout out to Tom Kennedy. Well-deserved game ball. Okay, what are we talking about? No, keep that, man. He's, let me see, what are we talking about? Tom Kennedy is Jack. Locker room is lit for TK85. Absolutely it was. What's up, nephew? Man, hey, the ovation was crazy, bro. The smile on Dan Campbell's face. The smile, they couldn't even, look. This is how you know that you're making an impact. Look at this smile on Dan Campbell's face, bro. Look at the smile. It was so loud in the locker room. The caption says, other exceptional statistics. When I read this, I died laughing, man. That's how you know. And I really just hope that the Lions, they value Tom Kennedy and realize exactly what they have, and they don't let the Isaiah Williams thing happen. You know what I'm saying? But I love that whole thing. Oh, Braylon says keep Sailors over Vaki. I can't disagree. Oh, man. Okay, here we go. Jay is in the building. Jay, what happened, bro? We here? Are we here, bro? Listen, I think that I have earned my respect, and I think I've earned a little bit more than Brad Holmes when it comes to the pass rush, okay? As a matter of fact, I got this guy on my list as a segment, and we're going to talk about him. Let me cross this out real quick so I can keep up. Lord have mercy. Here we go. Here we go, okay? Oh, boy. You know what? And I can't ever like, man, I can't ever like I want to give this guy credit, but it gets so tough because Lions fans, they fall into the trap of have a good game, you're a good player. Have a good game, problem is fixed. We've seen this movie before. And so as I try to give a guy his praise, somebody always has to come back. And I'm not talking about you, Jay, somebody else on Twitter, man. It's like, let me just get a guy's praise because I can definitely point at the concerns. I'll say that. Oh, Lord. Okay. Yeah. Do we have to, y'all? Do we have to? Okay. All right. See, I can't just give the guy his credit. It has to be need more consistency from AQM. Absolutely. If AQM more consistent, then you're not a sack and missing 5 games. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You guys know I've been tough on the pass rush. I've been tough on the pass rush, man. And I am going to give this guy his credit, but I'm also I don't want to be a party pooper, all right? So I'm not trying to be that, but we have to have this conversation. Al-Qadim Muhammad, the depth piece to Marcus Davenport and Aiden Hutchinson. He reached a career high yesterday for a season in sacks at 9. His previous career was 6.5. And he showed up big time yesterday. And the shocker and the thing that Lions fans are going crazy about, he reminds me of James Houston. I think he's better than James Houston. Speaking of James Houston, crazy that James Houston leads the Dallas Cowboys in sacks. All right? So maybe Al-Qadim Muhammad will lead another team in sacks if he wasn't a Detroit Lion. Leads the team in sacks with 9 over Hutch's 8.5. He played a great game yesterday. And Lions fans are getting excited. They're getting excited. Oh, the pass rush is fixed. It's reborn. And I am telling you that you need to pump your brakes. We've seen this before. But I do want to take a moment and I want to give AQM his flowers. This is his stats through the season so far. 30 years old, 6th-round pick in 2017 in New Orleans. That's why he wound up in Detroit. He is 10th in the league in sacks, amassing 3 yesterday in the game against the Dallas Cowboys. We go to his stats, and we're looking at sacks. He has now passed his career high that he had his last year in Indianapolis. He actually played for the Bears, had 1 sack. We acquired him last season from a practice squad. Now, I did hear Dallas Cowboy fans saying yesterday that they cut Al-Qadim in training camp. I don't know how certain that is. All I know is I remember making a video about us signing him, and in 9 games, he had a sack. So that's 1 sack approximately every 3rd game. Then you go to today or this year. He's got 13 games, 9 sacks. That's fantastic. But here's the problem that I have with AQM. And it's not really a problem with him. I just don't have the faith that you might have. First of all, he disappears way too much for me. If we go and we look in at his 2025 stats, nowhere to be found in Green Bay. And I know what you're going to say. Derek, he leads the team in sacks, and he's got more than Hutch. And all. We've seen this before. You've tried to defend James Houston, and look what happened. Anytime you try, and trust me, Hutch, this is not sitting well with Aiden Hutchinson, but it's only so much you can do. And one of the reasons that Al-Qadim Muhammad was to get here is because he has Hutch. I'm not a big pressure guy, but check this out. According to the stats that I've seen, Aiden Hutchinson himself, and I'm not a big pressure guy. To me, it's about getting sacks, but pressures can create opportunity for other players. What's a pressure for you helps your buddy get a sack. And I think we saw that yesterday. Shout out to Aleem McNeil as well. Got a sack yesterday. So everybody was eating yesterday. Al-Qadim Muhammad was eating the most. Aiden Hutchinson got 10 pressures. He had more pressures than the entire Dallas Cowboy defense. That's according to the stats that I've seen. All right. So I think we need to see consistency from AQM before we start really having these discussions. So you get no sacks in game 1. You get 1 sack in game 2. Okay, fantastic. You get 2.5 in game 3. This is where everybody was falling in love with AQM. And then after that, you go 0-0, 1, half, 1. And then this stretch of 4 games that you went MIA. And then as a matter of fact, you had an opportunity to end the game or get off the field against Jameis Winston 2 weeks ago, and you whiffed. You get one in a loss to Green Bay. No, we're right here. We're right here. Okay, we're right here. My bad. Sorry. So you disappear, and then you get 3 yesterday. Now, who's to say that the remaining 4 games, there won't be a sack? Like, will Al-Qadim get a sack the remaining 4 games, or is he going to disappear after that? Now, again, I don't want to take away from the fact that he just hit a career high. There's no doubt about that. But are we really going to say that he's the answer? So people watching this on playback and in the comment section, do you think Al-Quadin Muhammad is the answer? Do you think he's the answer? Okay, so Tammy says he said it was because the coaches challenged him. You've got to challenge yourself, dude. Derek, so what do you think? Drippin says team sack leader. So, I mean, okay. What, I don't, this, okay. What does that mean? What does that mean? First of all, he leads the team by half a sack. Secondly, the dude that allows him, we're not going to act like Aiden is a non-factor. That's what we're not going to act like. So this cannot be a serious conversation. So let's stay in the moment. Al-Quadin Muhammad played a killer game yesterday. But haven't we seen this movie before? How many times have we seen this movie? You've watched it at the theater. You went back to see it. You bought the DVD. Now you're watching it on TV. We've seen this movie before. So the thing that I will say is this. I think that knowing our general manager and seeing that he hit a career high, I think that Al-Quadin Muhammad earned himself a contract in Detroit. My concern is that he is going to be the new number 2. And right now, I have a concern. Will I still have that concern after the season? We'll see. If he can consistently show up. And let's not forget, he was also up against a backup tackle yesterday. Like, come on, man. So if he can keep this going, then I might change my tune. But I'm not ready to crown him. I'll use that. I'm not ready to crown him edge number 2. Are you? Okay, Aaron says he's not the answer, but he's not part of the problem. I am. Dripping says I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, the whole jug. Corey says we've seen this movie a ton of times. Show me consistency or it's the same as always. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So nobody said that Al-Quadin Muhammad was bad. No one said that. That's not what we were saying. I was saying that we need a legit, consistent number 2. Because how many of those sacks were created from Hutchinson? Because I'm going to tell you, man, Hutch is close. I think that Hutch is going, this is what I feel. Every single time, because Hutch has ended the season as the sack leader, but he's not always led in sacks throughout the season. Like last year, he was on a tear. He led the season, the team always, I believe, and then he wind up, getting injured. Hutch is feeling some type of way. He's not against his teammate, but internally. Trust me. We've been watching this guy for 3.5 years, man. He is taking this personal. Hutchinson is always back there, but he's right there, right? When Hutch gets going, he's gonna be crazy. He's gonna be crazy. And if we get a solid D-line and a guy that can help him consistently, Hutch is going to be that guy, I'm telling you. He's always back there, always back there. Yesterday, it was so many that slipped out of his hands. I was like, yo, there was literally one that slipped out of his hands. And it was one that he was running this guy down. I think he was running Prescott, just chasing after him, giving it all he got. Prescott, he dodged him and all that stuff. And then Hutch was like, he had to come out and take a breather. But he really, really, really wanted a sack yesterday. So what I need from AQM. Okay, Braylon says, do it again against the Rams. AQM is better than James Houston. There's no debate about that. There's no debate about that. James has never... Okay, listen. I compared him to James Houston because we are putting up... He's the man. He's the man. The same way that we did in 2022 when James Houston came out. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but when James Houston came out and he got 2 sacks against Josh Allen, and then he had 3 against Justin Fields, and all of a sudden he's sitting at 7 or 8, and Hutch is sitting at y'all. Some of y'all were like, "Oh my God, he's better than the 2nd overall pick," and I'm like, "Stop it." The 2nd overall pick is consistently in the backfield. He just got to finish. That's all he got to do. When he gets that, he is going to get 10, 12, 15, 20. It's coming. Trust me. As soon as Brad gets a consistent helper, it's going to come even sooner. But I'm not going to, I've seen this movie before. I've seen it with him, Al Qadim. I've seen it with James Houston. I've seen it with I'm happy for the dude, career high, but you can't go disappearing for multi-game stretches. Let's see what you can do against Stafford. Like, okay, let's do this. And Braylon, I see your super chat. Let's do this. Let's look and let's see what quarterbacks were you facing that you didn't get a sack, right? And we're not even going to talk about the offensive line. We're just going to look at the quarterbacks. All right, so you sacked Lamar. That was a feat. And I think that's what hyped everybody up. When we played Cleveland, Joe Flacco was the quarterback. This was before the trade. He got no sacks. Then we played the backup quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. No sacks. You did get a garbage time sack against Patrick Mahomes. You got half a sack against Baker. You sacked J.J. McCarthy. You couldn't sack Marcus Mariota. You couldn't sack Jalen Hurts. You couldn't sack Jameis Winston. And you couldn't sack Jordan Love. Even Hutch showed up here. Right? So, again, you've got the multi-sack games. And some of these sacks are the running chase you down sacks. And I'm not trying to take anything away from AQM. I'm happy for the dude. But we got to stop with the overpraise. With the, our pass rush woes are fixed. No, they're not. No, they're not. And this is my fear, is that Brad believed in these group of guys. I know that he has earned a contract. I just don't know if it'll be here. AQM will stay here. Maybe he gets a big payday from somebody else, somewhere else. But I have no doubt that Brad will want to sign him. 2-year deal. He is going to be like Alex Anzalone a few years ago. So I'm not there yet, but I'm happy for the man. Let me know what you think in the comments. Braylon, let me see. We got a super chat from Big Black Coffee. Says, I'm sure. All right, I can't read this, bro. I'm sure Brad just was really excited at the thought of the discount he gonna get on re-signing Branch. Yeah, we talked about that a little earlier, bro. Braylon with the super chat says, there's a reason Hutch plays 95% of the snaps. Lions fans don't seem to understand that, Derek. Absolutely, 100%. But listen, I'm happy for the guy, and I am looking forward to seeing him play against the Rams and play against Aaron Rodgers. Like, if think about the two quarterbacks that we're about to face, one is 37, one is 41. Like, yo, you've already sacked J.J. McCarthy, and then you got Caleb Williams, who was the most sacked quarterback last season. So if Mohamed is really that guy, let's do this. He's already got a career high. What should Al-Qadim Muhammad end the season with in sacks? You've got Matthew Stafford, a statue. You've got Aaron Rodgers, old. You've got J.J. McCarthy, who you've sacked before, and you have Caleb Williams, he's a little difficult. With the offensive line, he's a little difficult to sack. So Braylon says 12 sacks, 12 to 15. Deck says, what are our playoff chances with the Rams win? Jay, I don't know. You could go to the New York Times. They have like a playoff predictor thing, and you can click all these different scenarios, and it'll go up and fluctuate. Right now, it's sitting at 55%. I would assume that with a win over the Rams, and depending on what happens between Green Bay and Chicago, that it'll probably go up to the 70s. Like, it'll be in the 70s at that point. That's what I think. Between the Bears and Packers, who do we need to win? Okay, that is a great question, and that is what we'll end the show with. We will be back on Monday. Shout out to everybody in the chat. All right, so we're kind of in a win-win situation, but I guess looking at the fact that the Green Bay Packers swept us and we beat the Bears, we need a Packers win more than a Bears win. Because of the sweep by the Packers. Now, if we would have split with the Packers, then it would go either way. But I truly think it's a win-win either way. But because we still have, we can beat the Bears and essentially sweep them, then we need a Packers win. So to me, it's like a win-win, but we need a Packers win would do us. But I actually think the Bears, if Rome can play, I think the Bears could pull off an upset. I hate to say it, but I think they can pull off an upset. We beat the Bears in week 2. We've got them in week 18. A loss by the Packers, a loss to the Packers would help the Detroit Lions tremendously. That would drop the Bears to 9-4, right? 9-4. Lions to be 8-5. And we still got, so not only do we have the sweep like that, so if we sweep them, that's the tiebreaker. You know what I'm saying? So we can wind up with the same record, and then because we swept them, we got the tiebreaker. So we need a Packers win more than a Bears win. Yep. Lions can take the Rams. Well, we shall see. We shall see for sure. I mean, look, we stopped George Pickens. CeeDee Lamb was cooking us. We're going to have to deal with Devontae Adams, and we're going to have to deal with Puka Nacua. But, you know, we went up against 2 tough receivers yesterday, and they did the job, man. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited about tomorrow and see where it is. But that's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Look, have a great weekend. I will see you guys on Monday. Lions do not play for 10 days or 9 days now, so enjoy some football on Sunday. We will be doing the Bears-Packers game over on Lion Syndicate. That is the afternoon game. It might even be the game of the week. So we will do that live stream and enjoy some stress-free football. Again, either way, it's a win for the Lions, but we could really use a Packers win because the Packers would go to 9-4-1, I believe. And then they would have, and then is it 9-4-1? Yeah, it would be 9-4-1 or 9-3-1. One of the two. It'd be one of those. So, all right, guys, I will see you on. Okay, what if the Packers and Bears tie? If the Packers and Bears tie, it would have to be the Packers would be worse because then they'll have 2 ties. Has anybody ever had 2 ties? Like in the Super Bowl era, has anybody had 2 ties on the season? That is crazy. But it would benefit the Bears over the Packers because the two ties is essentially like 1 loss. So that's crazy. Okay, so it would be 9-3-1 for the Packers. All right, so 9-3-1, 9-4 for the Chicago Bears. So the Green Bay Packers they would jump the Chicago Bears. Then the Chicago Bears would at that point. Okay, we need the Packers to win because if the Packers win, then the Bears drop down to 9-4. We'll be 8-5. So they'll be a half game in front of us. And realistically, that's who we're chasing because of the sweep by the Green Bay Packers. But all right, y'all, I will see you on Monday. Go Lions and have a great, great weekend. Man, prayers up for Brian Branch, man. That's going to be tough. See you next year, my man.
And I'm pissing off the neighbors. Whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, everything ain't pretty but it's love though. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get you back on the feet. Yeah.